Chances are if you spent any time online, you've probably heard someone throw around the term NES hard to refer to a game that was really unforgiving. And whether that was a limitation of the NES or the intention of the designer, those games are still fondly remembered in spite of how hard they were. Even this one. And it goes without saying that difficulty is, well, difficult for game designers to balance. It takes a talented hand to make sure everything is balanced for everyone. But there's no one-size-fits-all kind of difficulty, and a lot of games, even much beloved ones, can get this wrong. Hi, I'm Jason, and this is a Reconnect rant. First up, memory-based difficulty. This is a really weird type of difficulty, and in a way, it's a failed attempt at reaction-based difficulty. However, not all mistakes are bad things, and sometimes they can make something fun. The premise is simple. Something's going to happen, and the only way you're passing it is to get killed and figure out a way to dodge it next time. You can't react. You can try to anticipate, but that probably isn't going to work. You just have to accept death and try again. And those of you unfamiliar are probably thinking, this is terrible. Who wants to play a game where you just die a lot? Well, a lot of people actually. You see, there's this subgenre type we'll call extreme memory games, and that genre has games like Cat Mario, I Wanna Be the Guy, and Battle Kid. These games are notorious for how unforgiving they are, and that's the fun. It's so unrealistically hard that becomes the point. It's an ingenious twist on what would normally be a game-breaking mistake. It's like a beautiful gaming S&M relationship. But seriously, these games are a testament to how a game designer can subvert all expectations and create a game that's fun, addictive, and completely sadistic. When you design an experience around the premise of difficulty, regardless of how hard it is, you can create a really unique and enjoyable experience. That said, when you don't build a game around this idea, and instead force the player's memory to compensate for terrible enemy placement and bad level design, Mega Man 10, they end up with a frustrating, unrewarding mess. There is nothing less satisfying than a game you're forced to memorize because you can't react. Speaking of which, reaction-based difficulty. This is probably the best kind of difficulty when it's done right. I don't think I have to explain this, but for those of you who don't know, please allow me. So you're playing a game, and you're just walking across the level, a few enemies here and there, no big deal, you can handle this. And then all of a sudden you turn a corner and boom! Giant enemy you've never seen before. Reflexively you attack, but nothing seems to work. This is where a game developer sets up its enemy to attack. And if it's a good developer, gives you enough space to learn how to dodge this attack, if not the first time, then every subsequent time. That way, when you encounter this enemy again later on, probably in a more challenging space, you'll know how it's going to attack and be able to quickly strategize and beat it with no issue. Hell, some games are even simpler. Look at the minecart stage of Donkey Kong Country. Rareware used bananas to quickly teach the player that they'll have to jump, how long they'll have to jump, and gives them a chance to react to the fast pace of the stage. And the use of a brightly colored object to attract the player's eye helps to enhance their reaction time. This kind of design makes a reaction-based game work and gives the player all the information they need right away. This is the kind of game design developers should aspire to be like. Or they can be like a Souls game and hide enemies behind literally fucking anything. Look, I love the Souls games, but the fans of Souls will tolerate terrible game design and call it a masterpiece. They can be like gaming hipsters and act like it's beyond criticism and that somehow it's your fault for not getting it. But the fact is that no matter how much anybody loves Souls, there is no denying the cheap bullshit present in that series. And your first time playing it, you will have no idea that it's there. Like, look at that! Yeah, you can read hints, but that's no different than having some jackass sitting next to you while you're playing Super Mario giving cryptic hints like, bounce into the yonder and claim the vegetation of the sun! Again, I love Souls. I mean, I played through the whole thing getting footage for this. And it's fixed a lot of these flaws in the most recent entries, and yeah, once you do get used to its anything, anywhere mentality, you do learn how to play, and you do get better. So, why do we put up with it? One simple reason. The Souls franchise, and every game like it that pisses you off with its unreasonable level of bullshit moments and memory-based difficulty, works because of one factor. They're not boring. Your game can be hard. Hell, it can be straight up unfair, as long as it's still satisfying to play it. Hell, your game can be downright bad and there will still be a lineup of weird people who will buy and play your shit game. But if your game is boring, then that's it. There is nothing you can do to save it. It could do one thing perfectly. Hell, it could be completely functional. But if there isn't something exciting about your game, if there's not something invigorating for the player, then all of that goes to hell. And that brings me to my next point. No difficulty games. This one bothers me a lot, and in my opinion is the worst excuse for difficulty. Why? Because with no difficulty games, you have nothing. You have no reason as a player to want to do anything. It's the difference between playing a game like Kirby Superstar and playing a game like Kirby's Epic Yarn. And maybe you don't like that example. Maybe you're one of those people who think, well, Kirby games were never that hard to begin with. Well, first off, play Kirby and the Amazing Mirror and then tell me that. Secondly, it doesn't matter that Kirby games are never hard, and they never have to be. That's not the point. There needs to be a reason to dodge obstacles. There needs to be a reason to not want to die. When a game offers you no punishment, when your only motivation as a player is to go from point A to point B because that's all you have to do, then what's the point? Imagine playing Super Mario Bros. And every time you hit a Goomba, nothing happened. This is the difference between a challenge and a time sink. Playing Kirby's Epic Yarn is the difference between teaching yourself to cook and going to McDonald's. It's the difference between lifting weights or calling your dad. One actually has value, and the other tricks you into feeling like you've accomplished something, but you haven't. You've gained nothing, and you're better off having never done it in the first place. And here's the thing. You can make these kinds of games. You could still make them fun. Wario Land 2 is just like this, but it's still fun to play because the game is built around this premise. Yeah, the challenge isn't really the same as it was in Wario Land 1, but the challenge still works. The challenge is still fun. You know, I think what bothers me the most about this is that Kirby's Epic Yarn had all the makings of a great game and completely squandered all the good aspects by invalidating the gameplay. And yet, a lot of people seem to think it was pretty good. But for me, the lack of any way to lose the game completely sucked me out of the experience. I felt like I was just walking through this really long movie and I lost all incentive to play it. But hey, this is just my opinion. This is how I like my games. And now that I've had my bitch fit for about 7 minutes now, I'll open the floor. What do you think? Am I completely off base? Do I know shit all about game design? Or maybe you liked this video and had fun watching it, and I hope you did, because I kind of spent a lot of time working on it. Or maybe there's some other games that get these aspects right that I don't know about. That's cool too. Leave a comment and let me know what you think.
He literally threw this bitch fit because I beat him at Mario Party.
That's true. Speaking of, if you want to see me and my friends play some other games, especially ones we really like, well, you could check out me and my friends Dan and Spencer playing Super Mario 3D World right here. Or if Luigi's Mansion is more your speed, well, that's right here too. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your feedback.